Look, Apple is getting ready to drop an absolute monster of a machine on us. And the funniest part is that the most massive upgrade is something you will literally never see. We are not talking about some fresh software update or a new color. The real story is a complete gut job of the hardware hiding inside that heavy metal box. And they are basically forced to do this, so the new computer does not turn your desk into a campfire. Leaks are spilling out everywhere right now. And honestly, when you realize what Apple is desperately trying to cram into this little box, all those weird shipping delays suddenly make perfect sense. But hey, let us just ruin the party for a second before we get to the crazy stuff. If you were crossing your fingers for a slim new design, or maybe a stealthy matte black version to match your darkroom setup, you can just let that dream fade away right now. That huge, heavy silver brick that hogs half your desk? Yeah, it is not changing one bit. It will have the exact same footprint, the exact same ports on the front for your camera cards, and that exact same cheese grater look on the back, just staring back at you every single day. Apple really does not care about making it look sexy this time around, because the actual magic is buried deep under all that thick aluminum. So, let us talk about what is actually happening in secret. Apple is totally ripping out the current thermal cooling system inside the Mac Studio. They are taking that giant chunk of metal that cools the current one, throwing it in the garbage, and starting completely from scratch. Now, you might be thinking, why mess with it if it works fine right now? The current Mac Studio is dead silent, right? Well, that is because the brand new M5 Ultra chip they are forcing inside is a complete freak of nature. The current fans would literally choke and just give up trying to keep this thing cool under pressure. They essentially had to rip out its old lungs and give it massive new ones just so it can breathe. So, why on earth is this new M5 chip running so unbelievably hot compared to the older ones? Let me break it down for you without sounding like a boring science teacher. Usually when Apple builds a top-tier chip, they just take two of their really fast normal chips, stick them together with some high-tech glue and copper, and call it a day. But they are totally throwing out that lazy playbook. This time, they are moving to this crazy new setup called fusion architecture. Instead of crushing every single part of the computer brain into one massive square, they are physically slicing up the processor and the graphics into separate little puzzle pieces. Doing it this exact way lets Apple send raw power exactly where it needs to go, which makes the whole machine insanely fast and super efficient. But moving all that raw electricity around in a brand new way creates massive, blistering hotspots. The old cooling fans were just totally useless against that kind of laser-focused heat, so they got scrapped completely. And honestly, the desktop guys at Apple kind of had to do this, because things are getting super embarrassing for them right now. It sounds wild to even say this out loud, but right now in the real world, a normal MacBook Pro laptop with an M4 Max chip is actually faster at pure processing speed than the massive M3 Ultra Studio. Just let that sink in for a minute. A tiny laptop running on a battery that you throw in a backpack is beating a heavy metal desktop that is permanently plugged into the wall. The only reason pro video editors even keep that giant silver brick on their desk is because it has a ton of extra graphics power to chew through massive files. And that is exactly why Apple is turning the volume all the way up, giving this new M5 Ultra up to 80 graphics cores. If your day job is chopping up massive 8K video files or building huge 3D worlds in Unreal Engine, those extra cores are going to be your new best friend. But listen, that is not even the craziest part of this entire leak. I was reading through some spec rumors and I saw a number that is just totally unhinged. Word on the street is that Apple is testing this desktop beast with up to 768 gigabytes of unified memory. Just take a deep breath and let that ridiculous number register in your brain. We are talking about 768 gigs of actual running system RAM, not just hard drive storage space for your old videos. For a regular person who just watches Netflix and types emails, paying for that much memory is a total joke. But if you are the kind of person building massive AI models locally, you already know how painful it is to pay thousands of dollars in monthly fees just to rent expensive cloud servers. This completely changes the game for you. You will literally be able to run a massive, super smart AI brain right on your own desk without sending one single drop of your private data up to the cloud. So, what is the trap here? Because let us be real, this is Apple we are talking about. There is always a catch waiting around the corner to empty our wallets. Well, we were actually supposed to get this monster a lot sooner. A lot of people expected it early this year, but summer came and went, and Apple stayed totally quiet. The delay is not some random software glitch they need to fix. It is actually a massive global shortage of memory chips that is basically holding the entire tech industry hostage right now. It is hitting Apple so hard that even if you try to order the older Mac Studio today on their website, you could be stuck waiting weeks just for it to ship. Because of this massive headache, the insiders are now saying we are looking at an October release date for this M5 Ultra. It is probably going to be the grand finale for the whole M5 family. And because those memory chips are so incredibly hard to find right now, do not expect a nice price tag. The current Studio starts around $2,000, but with parts getting so crazy expensive, the rumor is Apple might just quietly kill off the cheapest base model completely. You might have to cough up way more cash just to get your foot in the door. So, let us wrap this all up into a nice little package. You are definitely not buying this new Mac Studio to make your desk look cool on video calls. What you are actually paying for is a terrifying jump in pure speed, a totally rebuilt cooling engine that will not fry your hands, and enough memory to run the actual Matrix from your bedroom. You are just going to have to wait a little bit longer and empty your bank account a lot faster to actually get it. So I have to ask you guys right now, is 768 gigs of RAM in a desktop something you would actually use for your daily grind? Or is Apple just throwing out huge numbers to flex on the Windows guys? Let me hear your real thoughts down in the comments.